Welcome back to Josh and Kristie Stealing the Internet. I'm Josh.
I'm Kristie.
We've got more Reddit stories this week, so let's jump right in.
Am I the asshole for rejecting the worst name ever for our offspring?
No, I think it's pretty important that you give your offspring a good name.
So, my husband, 38 male, and I, 36 female, are expecting our first child, a bouncing baby girl due in a few months. We were both over the moon when we found out the gender, but now things have gotten complicated, to say the least. See, when we first started talking about names, the boy name was immediately decided, Stewart Jr., after my husband. No problem there, it's a classic name and carries a family meaning, but for a girl, things got murky. My husband suggested Stewarta.
I was thinking stewardess, so I wasn't sure how he was going to turn it into a woman's name, but I knew he was gonna.
No, you're not having a stroke. Apparently, his logic is that since Stewart ends with a T, we can just add an A to make it feminine. I tried to explain why that doesn't quite work, how it sounds more like a furniture brand than a human name, how she'd be endlessly correcting people and explaining its origin. He's adamant, though, says it honors him while giving our daughter a unique name.
What about stewardette?
Stewarta, I feel like when I read it, I know it's Stewart, so it should be Stewart, but I want to say Stewarta when I read it. When I read it, my brain goes, oh, Stewarta.
There must be a female steward.
I've suggested alternatives, feminine names that maybe share a similar sound or meaning to Stewart, names he's mentioned liking in the past, even just going back to the drawing board entirely, but he's fixated on Stewarta. Now, I love my husband dearly, and I understand wanting to honor family, but I can't imagine subjecting our daughter to a lifetime of awkward stares and endless questions about her unusual name. I also worry about potential bullying and the impact it could have on her self-esteem. So, Reddit, am I the jerk for refusing to budge on Stewarta? Is there any compromise I haven't considered? Help a soon-to-be mama out.
No, you're not the jerk here. I don't think, Stewarta is a good name. It does not roll off the tongue.
No, it does not. Also, names are like, if one person says no to a name, it is out. It's got to be two yeses.
Yeah.
You know?
Maybe husband just needs to accept that he can't pass on his name until you have a boy.
He's all about honoring him. Like, I need to honor me by naming our child after me. But if it's a girl, why can't you, if he really wants to use a name that honors someone, why not name it after his wife? Why does it have to be him? He's seeming very self-centered and selfish here.
I don't know very many girls that are named after their mom.
It is very uncommon.
Yes.
Or, since that is kind of weird.
I mean, it's not weird.
Yeah.
But it's just a fact that I don't know a lot of girls that are juniors.
It is a lot less common. I guess girls are usually named after grandmothers or great-grandmothers.
Oh, okay.
I think they just need to pick a different name that, if they want to honor the family, pick a grandmother or somebody to honor, not the husband, because Stewarta.
Let her middle name be Stewart. Stewart. I'm stuck on stewardess. Yeah, let her middle name be Stewart.
Yeah, that would be an okay compromise.
It's not the weirdest thing, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like, and people won't make fun of her for having a weird middle name because she just won't tell them if she doesn't want them to know.
They'll make a little bit of fun of her.
Yeah.
Her middle name can be Stewarta, because then you can be like, it's a weird family name.
Yeah.
I think that's my solution. If you want to do a weird family name, shove it in the middle.
Yeah, so they don't get made fun of as much. That seems like a good compromise.
Yeah.
I like that. Also, isn't he going to be upset if they have more kids and the next one is a boy and he's already used the Stewart name on his daughter? And I feel like he would, but modified it. If they have a boy next, he's going to be really sad that he already used the name Stewart on the girl and made it weird, Stewarta, and didn't just save it for the boy.
That's going to be super redneck if he's like, my daughter Stewarta, my son Stewart, my other son Stewart.
He's going to be one of those guys.
Yeah.
He does seem kind of like that guy because he's like, nope, our daughter needs to be named after me.
Yes.
Yeah, I could see that happening. Anyways, not the asshole. Stewarta is a weird name, and if you don't like it, it's got to be two yeses on a name from both parents for it to be approved.
It's definitely got to be two yeses, but I did spend the entire second half of that story trying to think of a better feminine version of Stewart. Stewardella.
Oh yeah, tell him he only gets one kid named after him, so if he goes with Stewarta now, he'll never get a Stewart Jr.
Yeah, that makes sense.
See how he feels about naming a future son a male version of your name. Turn it around on him and see if he likes that and be like, no, see, it's ridiculous.
Maybe she's got a name that translates really easily, though.
Yeah. Stewarta sounds like a pharmaceutical product. In some cases, Stewarta can cause headaches, rashes, and even death.
It's gotta be Stewardette.
Stewardina.
Stewette. Shorten it to Stew.
There's not.
I want this to work.
I cannot think of a Stewardalina.
Stewardalina. Thumble Stewart.
All right, that's my story.
Girl Stewart.
Lady Stewart.
Yeah, Lady Stewart. Yeah, that's it. Lady first name, Stewart second middle name, Lady Stewart. You call her Lady for short.
Okay.
Like a dog. Lady. No. Am I the asshole for refusing to push my obese cousin around in a wheelchair for a day?
No, unless you are like his caretaker or her caretaker and they're paying you to do it. No, that's exhausting, pushing someone in a wheelchair all day. And I don't think you're obligated to do it. It'd be nice, but no.
My cousin is approaching 600 pounds.
Oh my goodness. No, I couldn't even I don't think I could push that around in a wheelchair. Not for long, maybe 10 minutes, and then I'd be huffing and puffing. Okay.
My cousin is approaching 600 pounds and requires a mobility scooter, as walking even short distances is very painful for her. In July, she has an out-of-state wedding to attend, and I was asked to taxi her to and from the event, as I'm not currently employed, so my calendar is open. Unfortunately, my car will not carry a mobility scooter, so my cousin will be required to use a wheelchair. The problem is that this event is being held in a public park. I can barely push her wheelchair on paved surface, let alone across grass and dirt. I tried contacting a couple rental agencies in the area, but they would not lease scooters in this case because of the off-road use. My aunt and uncle have also declined to loan me their truck, which is how my cousin normally gets around because I have a pretty shitty driving history. I did look into renting a vehicle that could carry the scooter, but my cousin cannot afford to pay for that, and obviously, with me being jobless, I can't either. The distance from parking to the event area is about 40 yards, which my cousin cannot handle walking. About the best solution anyone's come up with is that the party has a flatbed they're using to tote supplies from the cars. But my cousin says she would feel humiliated having to be rolled in like that.
That is humiliating. I would not go with that option. I'd rather just not attend.
Yeah. My cousin is furious with me, saying I'm shaming her by saying I cannot push her. But I feel it's the honest truth. Like, 100% the thin wheels of the wheelchair are going to dig into the ground, and I'm not strong enough to handle that. My cousin has done a lot for me in the past, so I do feel bad saying no, but I feel like I've looked into every option at this point. Am I the asshole for not being willing to just go and give it the college try?
No, not the asshole. That's pushing 600 pounds on cement or pavement is really hard. And if he can barely do that, there's no way he's going to push her across grass and dirt and stuff in a wheelchair. That's really much harder to push.
It's hard to push a thin person in a wheelchair across grass and dirt.
Yes, it is. I feel like they're going to, if he does agree to do this, they're going to show up to the wedding and she's still not going to be able to get to it because he can't push it across the grass and dirt. And then she's going to end up being even more humiliated and blame it on him for not being strong enough to push her.
Uh-huh.
And it's not his fault. And then, like, they're going to get a bunch of other people involved to try and push her, and it's going to be even more embarrassing. I feel like this is not going to go well anyway.
Well, she can't walk. I assume she can at least stand and unstick the wheelchair. But I don't know.
How many times will they have to do that in the 40 yards?
That's, that's tough.
I think it is going to make a debacle of an entrance for her, and she's going to be embarrassed no matter what. And he's going to get blamed for it.
Yeah.
You know, and I just feel like that's not fair. I'd rather just not go and go through that.
And the aunt and uncle not loaning the truck.
Yeah. I was like, she needs to figure out another solution to get her not wheelchair, the mobility
scooter.
She needs to figure out another way to get her mobility scooter there so no one has to push her, because that's just not feasible.
Yeah, it sounds like the solution is her parents need to loan that truck, and if she really wants to go, even if this person has a bad driving record. Yeah.
She needs to come up with another solution, and it's on her, but it's not his fault for saying, no, this is not going to work and I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, and there's never, I don't think they ever gender themselves.
Oh, okay.
So it might be, it could be a woman doing this who I assume is...
Women are not quite as strong as men generally.
Yeah, generally.
So,
I did miss this. It says, also, please don't degrade my cousin. I know I can't stop you, but it's all been said before. Please and thank you.
Yeah, I do feel for the cousin wanting to go to this wedding and not having a lot of options to get there, but it is not your responsibility to...
You're doing her a favor, even with the extra mile of, like, calling places.
Yeah.
And trying to figure it out, but kind of sounds like it didn't work out. There is an edit.
Okay.
There's an edit and an update, so let's do the edit first. Edit. I honestly never expected so many responses, and I want to express my appreciation to the vast majority who respected my request not to berate my cousin. I also wanted to thank everyone who messaged me with their own thoughts. I feel like you all have given me some very solid talking points that may hopefully help me with the discussion with my cousin. Thank you all. Not the asshole. You mentioned a truck that her parents have. Where are they going to be on this weekend that they can't take her? I can't imagine 600 pounds even fits in your vehicle. Not sure how that would be managed either, but not your problem. And then the OP responded, yeah, I'm kind of concerned about my car too, but I have another big family member who is able to get in and out of it okay, but they are only 350. My uncle has significant health issues that would prevent him from doing this drive, and my aunt is working and does not have vacation hours to utilize. I've tried pressing them about the truck, but they're stubborn. I would also like to note that they are not at all upset with me over this situation, so it's not like they're being hypocritical.
Okay.
And then update. This morning I got a call from my aunt who said my cousin was no longer going to be attending the wedding. Sadly, my cousin was hostile towards the bride's mother, who had selected the venue, and so her invitation was retracted. I feel depressed because I know my cousin did really want to go, but I still don't think I was wrong to tell her I couldn't handle this. I really do appreciate all of you who supported me in my decision, as well as those of you who may have felt otherwise, but were still so kind to me. Thank you all.
Okay. Well, that's a shame for the cousin, but you can't go yell at the mother of the bride for picking a place that isn't exactly wheelchair accessible.
Yeah, sounds like it's a 40-yard... It's 40 yards of grass. That's not a ton. That's less than half a football field.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree. Not the asshole.
Yeah, not the asshole. Am I the asshole for calling the police on my coworker over a prank?
Oh, it depends entirely on how severe that prank is. I'm gonna go with not the asshole.
I hate a pranker.
I don't like a pranker, but let's see how severe the pranking is.
I, 25 female, just started this new job as a front desk clerk at a hotel. I work the overnight shift. I usually have a coworker, 30s male, with me, but he's never really spoke to me. A few nights ago, it was my first night alone. At around 2 a.m., I noticed a person in the parking lot. You can see the lot from the front desk.
Yeah, this is getting terrifying.
The lighting in the lot is terrible, so you don't really see faces until they get close to the lobby door. Anyway, so the person is just standing there, not moving, for about 5 to 10 minutes. I thought this was strange, and of course, it creeped me out. After about 10 minutes of them standing there, they moved, I guess, to call the front desk, because he moved his hand to his ear, and the phone rang. I picked it up, and on the other end, I just heard, 5 buried, none found, in a low voice, and then they hung up.
Of course.
At this point, I was terrified, so I ran to the back room and called 911. I explained to the operator about what had been going on, and they sent a couple of cops to the hotel. When they arrived, one cop was talking to the person outside, and the other one was at the front desk talking to me, telling me that the person outside was claiming that he also worked here. I was confused, but also admitted that I hadn't seen the person's face, just the silhouette. At this point, the other officer and the person from the lot come in, and it turns out to be my coworker, and he was upset, saying he would have never pranked me if he knew I was going to call the police and try to get him arrested.
What is the correct response when somebody literally calls you with a death threat?
I didn't go through with pressing charges, but I did tell my manager what happened the next morning. It's been a few days now, and I guess he told other coworkers what happened, and now no one is really speaking to me and giving me a bit of an attitude. I feel like I took it a bit too far with calling the police. Am I the asshole?
What do you mean you took it too far by calling the police?
That is exactly what I would have done.
It's the overnight shift at a hotel.
A young female alone.
And he's calling from the parking lot while staring in menacingly.
Yup.
He's obviously trying to be menacing.
I would totally 100% have called the cops too.
Yeah. It's not like... No, that's the correct response. The other option, if it wasn't your coworker, you would be dead right now.
Mm-hmm. Top comment. Not the asshole. Your coworker was trying to scare you on purpose, and now he's angry that you did what any reasonable person would have done under the circumstances.
Yeah. When you said prank at the beginning, I thought you meant like he jumped out and yelled boo.
Yeah. Okay, next top comment. Not the asshole, but this guy is bad news. He's in his 30s and spends his night off at 2 a.m. showing up to his job to prank his younger female coworker. He should be fired. That's harassment and it's fucking creepy and weird, not to mention unprofessional.
Yeah, that is his night off, isn't it?
Yeah, and he's in his 30s. Like, I get like frat boy pranks, you know, that when you're younger, you think pranks are funny. Like, 30s? Oh my god, grow up.
Yeah, you have to outgrow pranks at some point.
Anyways, everyone in the comments thinks it's creepy as hell.
That's creepy as hell, yes.
It is. I don't know if there's an update or anything.
Yeah, because he got her.
Yeah.
There's no updates because he finally got her.
I think he should have been fired. That's really weird and unprofessional. Yeah.
Am I the asshole for telling my wife to be less emotional when cooking?
Yes, don't tell anyone to be less emotional. That is not going to help the situation. It's like telling someone, calm down.
Yeah.
Calm down! Calm down! It's not gonna work. So, a little bit of an asshole move there. Okay, but tell me the story.
Okay.
What was his wife doing that was so emotional?
Earlier today, my wife texted me that she found a recipe in a magazine she was reading last week, and that she wanted to try making it. She insisted on stopping by the store on her way home from work to buy the ingredients. This annoyed me because I had planned out the meals for the week, and I have previously requested that any deviation from this schedule be communicated to me at least 1 week in advance. Nonetheless, I let her try to cook.
Man, this guy, like, really likes his schedules and does not want anything to change in it. That's a little extreme. 1 week notice on, hey, I was thinking of something else different for dinner?
He has a system.
That's insane. Oh my gosh, like, loosen up a little bit. It's okay to have something different for dinner without a 1 week notice.
When she got home, she got right to work, chopping vegetables, boiling water, etc. I work from home, and I needed to finish a few things, so I left it to her to cook in the kitchen. About an hour later, my wife came and got me. She led me into the kitchen and seemed very pleased with herself. It smelled and looked delicious, and she had even poured us glasses of red wine and lit some candles.
Sounds like the wife is trying to do something, like, nice and romantic, like making dinner herself instead. It sounds like he does most of the cooking and planning.
I would assume.
So, it sounds like the wife was trying to do something nice by cooking dinner for him and making it nice and romantic.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I feel like he's going to overreact.
From the first bite, though, I knew that something had gone terribly wrong. She had made a chicken and noodle casserole, and it tasted very salty, almost like pickles. I spat out my forkful and calmly but firmly asked her what she had done. I was struggling to get the taste out of my mouth.
Okay, imagine this, taking a bite. Nom, nom, nom. Blech. What have you done? What the heck kind of question is that?
Calmly but firmly.
What have you done?
Yeah, leaning in. What have you done?
That seems menacing.
A little bit. She walked up to the recipe and deciphered that she had added 1 tablespoon of salt instead of 1 teaspoon.
Okay, that's not crazy. That's like 3 times as much salt, but that's not unreasonable.
In a whole casserole?
In a whole casserole?
It's going to taste kind of salty, but like
not disgusting. It's probably still edible.
Yeah. I told her that she was too excited about the recipe and that she let her emotions take over. I reminded her that if she had controlled her emotions, she wouldn't have sped through the recipe and likely wouldn't have made such a silly mistake.
What?
My wife turned red and looked down at the floor. All she could muster was, I just wanted to do something nice. I got up from the table, scraped the inedible food into the trash, and ordered a pizza. At this point, I was in no mood to return to my original food schedule. When I was done ordering, I asked my wife how she would avoid doing such a thing when she cooked in the future. My wife seemed angry about the question and said that I should just drop it.
He's trying to turn it into a teaching moment. I feel like this is a very easy mistake to make. Tablespoons and teaspoons are so easy to mix up.
Yeah. When you're cooking, I sometimes heap the teaspoon because I don't care.
Okay, this makes me mad. I
can
feel like
tell.
he's the emotional one. Okay.
My wife seemed angry about the question and said that I should just drop it. I refused. I told her that she had wasted our money on these ingredients, only for us to throw her entire dish away. I asked her if she even cared how that made me feel, but she just shook her head and angrily stormed out of the room. I've been trying to get her to speak to me for a few hours, but she just wants to pout. I get so tired of her ridiculous behavior, and I feel incredibly disrespected by her. I guess she wants me to apologize, but I was the one who ultimately saved dinner. Am I the asshole?
Yes, 100%. Also, I feel like you were too emotional while you were cooking, was her being excited. Whereas he doesn't think he's too emotional, but he definitely is, and his emotion is irritation and anger, which is so much worse.
She deviated from the schedule, Kristie.
I mean, I like
The schedule.
I like a routine, but you gotta loosen up a little bit. Jeez.
It's so salty.
Okay. Being mad about it, like throwing it in the trash. He didn't even thank her. Oh, thanks for cooking dinner, you know.
Uh-huh.
And then trying to turn it into a teachable moment. What are you gonna do better next time? Like she's a child? I hate this man.
But he saved dinner by ordering a pizza.
She could have ordered a pizza. You just threw away her dinner, so she, I don't understand.
I really feel like adding a tablespoon of salt instead of a teaspoon is not going to ruin an entire casserole.
No, I feel like it was still edible, but slightly salty.
Yes.
And I still would have eaten it. Probably not great for my, blood pressure with all that extra salt and everything, but it probably wasn't bad.
I feel like the solution here is to make it into a bit of a joke.
Yeah.
Not to scrape the dish into the trash and be like, now what did we learn from this?
Husband's the asshole. I really hate him so much.
I'll read part of the top comment because it's like 10 paragraphs long. You're the asshole so many ways here. I'm prepared to overlook that you said you let your wife change your rigid meal plans and cook something else. I hope that's just poor wording, but I'm not overlooking the rest of it. The right thing to do when your spouse makes a mistake like this is to laugh it off with them. Everyone makes mistakes, these things happen, and in the end it's just one meal. You, though, refuse to acknowledge she tried to do something nice, patronizing, very sexist-sounding lecture about how she's emotional, not letting it go after she told you to, continuing to harp on her and blame her for wasting money, telling her she doesn't care about your feelings, in the middle of demonstrating that you do not care about her feelings at all, and complaining she disrespects you when it is you who is disrespecting her.
100%. I agree with all of that.
Yeah, he's being very diminishing to her.
Yeah. He's gonna be like, the divorce came out of nowhere. I don't know why she divorced me. Everything was going so well.
Yeah, I mean, he spoke very calmly and firmly, like you do to a dog when they throw up on the floor. Then the next comment down. Am I the asshole for scolding my partner, a grown woman, like a fucking puppy? Yes, champ. Obviously, you're the asshole. Extremely.
Yes.
So, Reddit agrees.
Okay. Am I the asshole for calling off my wedding after my fiancé's surprise gift?
I've heard enough stories about fiancés giving gifts that I'm going to say you're not the asshole, because I have zero faith in them.
So I, 30 female, have been engaged to my fiancé Mark, 32 male, for about a year, and we've been together for 3 years. I've always known Mark to be a bit unconventional. He's very creative and sometimes takes things a little too far in the name of surprise or excitement. Most of the time, I love his adventurous spirit, but this time, not so much. A couple of weeks ago, we had a small get-together with some close friends to celebrate our upcoming wedding. Mark had mentioned that he had a surprise for me, which I figured would be something sweet, like a heartfelt gift or maybe a romantic gesture. Well, as the night went on, after a few drinks, Mark finally revealed his gift. He pulled out what looked like a box from a special jewelry store. My heart raced with excitement as I assumed it was a lovely bracelet or a special memento for our wedding day. But when he opened the box, I was absolutely stunned. Inside was a key to a house he supposedly bought for us.
Oh, that's a little... Yeah, no, you don't buy a house by yourself. That's just 101 relationship.
I was taken aback because I had no idea he was even looking for real estate. My first reaction was one of shock and confusion, as I thought it was a huge decision that we should have discussed together. 100%. A house is something you decide on together.
Yes, that's a life-changing purchase that you both need to be involved in.
Mm-hmm. As I processed the moment, I realized the house wasn't just any house. It was a fixer-upper on the outskirts of town. Now, I get that it can be a great investment, but this particular house needed a ton of work. I'm talking major renovations and repairs, and I honestly had no desire to live there.
Okay, I really hope we're going to find out how good Mark is at fixing things up.
Mark had not consulted me at all before making this purchase, and I felt blindsided. Normally, I'd be overjoyed about investing in our future together, but the fact that he made such a significant commitment without me crushed me. I quietly took the key and told him we needed to talk about this. As we stepped outside, I expressed how hurt I felt that he had made such a big decision without discussing it with me first, and that it felt like a violation of trust.
Yeah, that's fair. That's completely fair.
Mark got defensive and insisted that this was a wonderful surprise, a way for us to start our lives together. He said I was missing the bigger picture and that I should be excited about our future. Honestly, I just felt overwhelmed and confused. I told him I didn't think we were ready for this and that we should focus on our wedding first. After a heated argument, I made the gut-wrenching decision to call off the wedding. Mark was devastated and our friends were shocked. I had just ruined what was supposed to be a happy night and I felt horrible. Since then, Mark has been trying to reach out, saying he wishes we could talk it over, but I can't shake the feeling that he disrespected my feelings and my input in our relationship.
Okay, I'm not trying to diminish her decision, but deciding to call it off on the spot is nuts. It must have been one hell of an argument to just be like, not to walk away and maybe think about it overnight before you call off the wedding.
True. That is, calling off the wedding is a big decision that should be thought through carefully.
That's also a big decision. Not one you have to make with your partner, but...
Yeah. I've been reflecting on whether I overreacted. Am I the asshole for calling off the wedding after his surprise gift?
I'm going to say no. Obviously, she did not go into finances at all. But it sounds like this is a large chunk of their finances from the way she reacted. And you don't buy a house and say, we're going to move. You don't make people move, and you don't buy a huge life-changing investment that you're going to be maybe paying for 30 years. Yeah. No, not the asshole.
Yeah, this is definitely a decision that she should have been involved in. And, because, like, a house is something very personal, too. Like, he didn't take her, like,
yeah, her wants and needs.
Yeah, he didn't take her wants and needs and, like, what she wants in a house, what her dream house is. He didn't take that into consideration at all. He bought a piece of crap fixer-upper.
Yeah,
who's gonna fix it up? They never talked about that.
I really want to know how good, like, do they own tools?
I don't know.
They're not married yet. Tools are one of those things you buy over time, like, after you get the house. But if you're buying a fixer-upper right off the bat, you need to, like, buy $1,000 worth of tools.
So he's, like, making unilateral decisions that are going to affect the entirety of their future, the rest of their lives, without her input. That is a huge red flag.
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like he wants to make this relationship like a dictatorship and not a partnership. What he says goes and her opinion doesn't matter. And that is not okay at all. Mark
wasn't at all apologetic when she told him that, was he?
No, he was like, you should be happy.
Yeah,
this is investing in our future. What if she didn't want to invest in their future in that way?
Yeah, that is investing in the future. That is true, but...
Well, now it's his future, not their future.
Yeah, like, she's not even on the mortgage.
Yeah.
It sounds like you can't... It sounds like it's his house.
Yeah, that's a good point. If they get divorced, it'll be a premarital asset of his. And doesn't that change how things are divided?
I'm not 100% sure on divorce law, thankfully. But I think after you've been... It is a premarital asset then, which is true. I don't know how many years you have to be married before that's not important.
Yeah, I don't know all the laws of that, but I do think that affects it, which is not going to help. It favors him and not her.
Yes. That is a red flag. I don't like it.
I don't like it either.
It takes so much work to find I don't know how much competition there was for this house.
Yeah.
But, like, when we were house shopping...
Oh, it was so competitive.
And
we would look at a house and it was sold, like, 2 hours later, and we're like, well, that was a waste of time.
It was sold 2 hours later by somebody who just offered less cash. They offered cash but less total than what we were offering.
Yeah.
Because a cash bid was somehow better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we looked at so many houses because it was so competitive.
Yeah.
And a lot of the houses, like, I looked at and I was like, no, absolutely not, you know?
All right. The fixer-uppers?
Yeah.
Where we're like, yeah, fixer-uppers are either, yeah, we can do this, or like this.
Tear the whole building down.
Yeah.
But yeah, how long was he planning this gift and house hunting? And then you gotta go through the whole process of buying it, and that takes a while to get the finances all sorted too.
Mm-hmm.
This was a very thought out plan on his end, and it was poorly thought out, but he went through with it.
Well, I mean, it depends so much on what level of fixer-upper and what area they're in.
Mm-hmm.
Like, did he buy, like, the crappy $20,000 fixer-upper that has a hole in the roof?
Well, that would make me more mad, but I think it doesn't matter. Any house is a divorceable or a breakupable offense.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's not.
Yeah.
I'm saying I'm curious about how much time he invested into this. Did he just like drive past this house and he's like, that one? Am I overreacting? My husband doesn't want to eat at the dinner table.
I feel like you're probably both overreacting. Is eating at the dinner table or not isn't a huge deal. Somebody is overreacting. I don't know who, though.
My husband and I are in our first year of marriage. I grew up eating dinner at the table, and he grew up mostly eating dinner on couches at the TV. I'm pretty easygoing, so since we've been together, I've been eating at the TV. It's gotten harder and harder. Some nights I feel mad that he doesn't want to sit and eat at the table and focus on the food I worked hard to cook. Sometimes I feel upset that I have to stoop low to try to eat off the coffee table. I don't pay any attention to the show because I'm focused on my food, so I miss whatever we're watching in our series. I think I'm just going to start eating at the table so I can look at my food and enjoy it, and not have to crouch over it like when I'm at the couch.
Just question, has she talked to her husband about this at all? It sounds like no, she's just talking about why she hates it, but has she talked to him and told him, and how has he responded? Because this seems like a communication issue.
This is one of those situations where the next sentence helps.
Oh, okay.
I've expressed to him that I want to eat at the table, and sometimes he will to appease me. But this feels like a very fundamental difference that will probably always be a struggle.
Yeah, it's just different ways they were raised, and neither of them wants to change.
It feels almost uncivilized to me to eat at the TV.
Okay, she's being condescending now. A lot of people eat at the TV.
Yeah, like, it depends on the meal.
Yeah.
It sounds like she doesn't know how to eat at the TV either if she's crouched over her meal and trying to savor the food.
Yeah.
That's not a TV meal. The TV meal is shovel food into your mouth and enjoy the show.
Yeah.
Don't look at what you're eating. It feels almost uncivilized to me to eat at the TV. Like there isn't a respect for the meal. I realized this was the dinner time culture I grew up with. Sometimes I'd sit with my family at the dinner table for 3 hours just talking.
That was so long.
I think she grew up in a house without a TV.
Oh.
I don't know that for a fact, but it sure sounds like it.
3 hours at the dinner table? My butt would hurt sitting on those hard dining room chairs for 3 hours. Good grief. No. No, thank you.
My husband did not have that experience. His family has trouble making daily conversation and feel tired after work, so sitting down at the TV is just nice for them. Can anyone relate? I just wish this weren't a thing. I want our marriage to have the dinner time culture that I was raised with. I miss it. Am I overreacting?
Yes, a little bit, but I think there is a compromise that can be reached. Why don't you just do like half of your meals at the TV and half of them at the dinner table? But maybe not for 3 hours. Like, you know, like half an hour, eat your meal, discuss your days. It's a nice way. Eating dinner at the dinner table is a nice way to like connect with your partner and stuff. But every day is a bit extreme when the other person would prefer to eat in front of the TV. I think you guys need to come up with a schedule of not so complex meals that you can eat in front of the TV and very fancy meals that it appears that she likes to eat that can be eaten at the table while you discuss your days. You just got to compromise, do 50-50.
Yeah, I think so. That's what I was thinking too, is like a simple meal. Like, if you're having pizza, you can eat in front of the TV. If she put a lot of work into it and made a bunch of side dishes, table.
Yeah. This is just a communication issue, and you guys need to reach a compromise. Having such a big fight over such a little thing seems a little weird to me.
Top comment. How about you choose where you guys eat when you cook the meal, and he gets to choose when he cooks? And OP replied, I love this. He only cooks once every 2 weeks. He hates cooking and I enjoy it. I don't think I'd get him to agree to this, lol, but I may mention it because it makes total sense to me.
That does make sense to me too. But then he might start being like, okay, we're getting takeout on my nights and, eating in front of the TV, which...
It's honestly fine.
Yeah. I mean, if you have the money to do it.
Yeah,
Takeout can be an expensive thing,
Yeah, if you have the money and you don't mind the extra sodium.
Yeah.
I'm in my 30s, internet.
But I feel like there are so many compromises here that could fix this problem for them.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like communication. I don't think you're overreacting, but you also aren't making much space for your husband to do what feels comfortable for him. Is there a reason you can't split the difference and eat at the table half the week and in a more comfortable space the other half? Yeah, I mean, that's marriage, right? Just
yeah.
do half and half and you're both half happy.
Yeah.
OP replied, I proposed this to him, like splitting it evenly like that, and he was very resistant. He in turn suggested 1 night a week. I expressed I missed dinner table eating so much that I would do it every night with him if I could. But that perhaps we could eat at the TV on Fridays.
So they both only want to do 1 day a week what the other one wants to
right.
do.
So
that is not a fair compromise for either of them. They're both kind of selfish.
Alas, here we are, still eating at the TV every night, because I really don't want to nag him or control him. That's why I was thinking maybe it would be better for me to just eat at the table by myself. It is still basically in the same room as him. It would be a million times better if he did it with me, though.
To be honest, sounds like she's doing all the cooking.
Yes.
And he is not open to eating at the dinner table more than once a week. I would stop cooking for him so much. I would cook for myself and eat my meals at the dinner table and be like, well, if you want to eat with me at the dinner table tonight, you can. But if you're going to eat in front of the TV, find your own food. See how he feels about that then. But really, they're both just being selfish and they need to split it 50-50.
That does seem to be the solution, just a half and half. Because they both like, maybe 1 night a week with your thing.
Yeah, they're not a fair compromise. Neither of them are willing to do a fair compromise. I don't know. That kind of bothers me.
A little bit. But yeah, I think this is just a communication and making concessions with your partner.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little relaxing to do ones that aren't am I the asshole sometimes.
Oh, this one's an am I the asshole? And
I had my relaxation. Give me the chaos again.
Okay. Am I the asshole for telling my husband that he has to let my dad witness his colonoscopy?
Yes? Unless her dad's a doctor. Well, even then, I don't know if I... No, yeah, you're an asshole. I'm gonna assume asshole at this point.
My mother-in-law wants to be in the room when I give birth.
I'm sorry, is this the same subject?
Yes.
Okay.
So, my mother-in-law wants to be in the room when I give birth. She is an unpleasant and pushy woman, and none of her own daughters have allowed her near them when they gave birth. My sisters-in-law are all at least 12 years older than my husband and are done having kids. I am the last chance for my mother-in-law to see the birth of a grandchild.
Okay, yeah, I just made the connection of why she's doing this.
I have zero interest in letting that judgmental old woman see me down there. She has objected to me from the beginning because I have tattoos and am not in any way interested in being a stay-at-home wife. I have a lot of tattoos and a career, and I plan on continuing. And I have the tattoos down there that are none of her business.
I wasn't gonna suggest that she might have some down there, but she does.
Yep. My husband is her baby boy. He is a good husband and has stood up for me against her many times. When she tried to interfere with our wedding, he put his foot down. When she tried to convince him that we should move to his hometown where he could work from, but I would not be able to find an employer in my line of work, he said no, because my career is important to me. And while we can live off of his earnings and the cost of living is lower in his hometown, our combined earnings are much better altogether. So, green flag for the husband, standing up for her and what is important to her.
Although it sounds like he's about to be like, maybe you should just give in and let her be in the room.
Yeah, okay. She has started crying to him that all she wants is to see a grandchild being born. All her friends have experienced it and she wants it.
What is up with this friend group that it doesn't seem like that common of a thing to want to see your grandchild pop out.
Yeah, right? That's a little weird to me.
See them after they've been cleaned up.
Yeah. He is starting to crumble under her emotional blackmail. So I made it clear that the only way I would agree was if, before the birth, My husband made arrangements for my father to witness him getting a colonoscopy. He would need a ride anyway, so 2 birds, 1 stone, you know? He said I'm being ridiculous, but I said none of my brothers would let my dad see them getting a camera shoved up their ass, and he felt left out.
I want husband to call her bluff and say yes and see if she can talk dad into doing this.
Because, dad doesn't want to watch his son-in-law get a colonoscopy.
I guarantee you she did not clear this with dad first.
He finally understood my point, but his mother is upset that I used such a stupid comparison. She says that it isn't the same thing at all. I offered to change it to me watching her get a Brazilian wax, and she hasn't called me in a week. I know seeing a baby born might be her dream, but I am not interested. Am I the asshole?
No. No, you're the pregnant lady. You're allowed to decide who's in the room and where in the room.
Why do all these grandmothers-to-be feel like giving birth is a spectator sport and want to watch their grandchildren being born? That is so weird to me, because there are a lot of stories like this out there.
Are there?
Yes, there are so many stories of, like, mother-in-laws wanting to be in the room for the birth, and, pregnant lady obviously not okay with that, and the mother-in-law not taking no for an answer. It's a very common story, but this one I thought was extra funny with the colonoscopy angle. But I do not understand why all these people want to be in the room for birth.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I do not want to see that. I would be there if the pregnant lady needed me for support. But to be honest, I probably wouldn't look. I'd be like facing her face and holding her hand,
Yeah.
We talked about this last week, but
You wouldn't look just out of curiosity?
I have seen baby goats being born. I'm good. I've seen puppies and kittens being born. I'm good. I do not need to see a human coming out. Nope.
You're not the asshole.
Okay, I can't find the comment now, but people were talking about, why do you think none of her daughters allowed her to be in the room with them?
Right.
Right? And she thinks she's going to get in with her daughter-in-law. That seems like, I think there's a reason, and it's because she's pushy, and not a pleasant person, and the daughters are like, absolutely not, you're not going to be in the room when I'm birthing. So I don't know why she thinks she can bully her daughter-in-law into saying yes.
Yeah, do sister-in-laws have some sort of insider info about how she's going to behave?
Probably.
Like,
they grew up with her.
Out of the way, Doc. I'm delivering this one.
Yeah, but I would definitely either not tell mother-in-law when I'm going into labor, or probably that, and also telling the labor and delivery staff, do not let her in under any circumstances, because she's just going to show up and try and bully her way in so that she can see the birth of her grandchild.
It sounds like it, yeah. I don't know. Sometimes I'm just paranoid that the mic might have shut off. And we've just been talking.
Oh my gosh, it's not green. No, I'm just kidding.
Right? I was like, I can see it over there, Kristie, but you still scared me. Don't scare me like that. Have I just been talking to my wife for an hour?
How terrible!
Am I the asshole for giving my husband a pregnancy test as a B-Day gift?
No. I mean, either way, you hope he's either hoping for a child and it's a positive pregnancy, or you got a pregnancy scare that you didn't want and it's a negative test. He should be excited about both of those things. Yay! Good birthday present.
Okay. I didn't even consider the negative one. Just wanted you to know.
We're not pregnant.
Yep.
Huzzah!
No changes this year. Hi, I am female 23. My husband's male 25. Birthday was 1 week ago. We've wanted a baby for a really long time, and when I found out I was pregnant, I was so excited. Knowing my husband's birthday was in 3 days, I decided to keep it a secret and give the test to him as part of his B-Day gift, because he wouldn't be expecting it. In my head, it would make it more shocking/exciting.
That makes sense.
At least that's how I thought it would be. Perhaps that was a dumb thought.
I've seen a lot of videos of people for doing Christmas presents.
Yeah, me too.
On, the internet. That's a popular thing, is to surprise your spouse with the pregnancy test and film it.
Yeah, if you've been trying for a while too.
Her logic seems sound to me so far.
I mean, it's only 3 days that she didn't tell him. Now, this was not going to be a big party with tons of people. My husband didn't want that, so it was just going to be the 2 of us. He was going to open his gifts, we were going to eat a nice dinner, and it was going to be chill and intimate. With this in mind, I didn't think giving him the pregnancy test as a gift would be a problem at all. If it were a big party, I wouldn't have done it, because it would have taken the entire focus off of him. But this was a small party, just me and him.
Okay, that seems considerate of her. Yeah, that's good thinking on her part.
When it came for me to give him his gifts, The pregnancy test was in a small box, and I told him to open it last. He was super happy with all his gifts, and when he opened the box with the pregnancy test in it, his demeanor changed. He seemed upset. I asked what was wrong, and he said it was a stupid gift. And how could you hide something like this from me? You knew it for so long and hid it?
3 days is not so long.
I explained to him it was 3 days. I thought it would be a wonderful gift. Like I said, we've wanted a baby for so long, and I thought he'd be happy. He said he was happy, but the timing for me to tell him was horrible, and that it was his birthday, not a celebration of pregnancy.
Okay, he sounds self-centered and narcissistic, like it's his birthday, it's all him. He's not going to be a good dad because you don't get a lot of him attention when you have a baby. Suddenly it's all about the baby. He's not going to handle having a baby well. This is going to be bad.
I was confused, hurt, upset. So many emotions at once. I called him immature, and that led to a fight. He slept on the couch that night. This past week, he hasn't talked to me too much. Whenever I try to bring it up, he says, "Just stop. We're past it. It was dumb of you."
That is not the way to handle a disagreement.
He doesn't tell me how happy he is or any celebration about us being pregnant. Whenever I talk to him, he doesn't really reply. It's just yes or no or a grunt. I feel horrible. I didn't think this would be a bad gift. I thought he'd love it. Am I the asshole for doing this? I really thought it was okay, but I'm starting to think he's right. I shouldn't have done this.
Not the asshole. The husband is incredibly immature. Either he doesn't actually want to be a dad, or he's just so narcissistic that he can't handle having any of the spotlight taken off of him. Either way, he's not ready to be a dad.
I agree. Yeah, like if you've been trying for a baby and your wife hands you a little present box and you open it and there's a positive test in there, that's great.
Okay, yeah, and after 21, birthdays are not such a big deal anymore. Like, you get one a year, it's not a big deal. I mean, it's nice to, celebrate it a little, but it's not the huge event that it was before. And he has just ruined this once-in-a-lifetime event for his wife of announcing their first pregnancy to him, It's so selfish on his part, and he's being incredibly immature about it, and his reaction afterwards to their fight is immature. I don't think he's ready for kids at all, and I would seriously reconsider having kids with this guy.
It's too late for that.
Yeah, too late for that, but...
And then there's an update. I don't really know if this is considered an update, but after reading replies, I'd like to clear up a few things. So it's just some responses in the post. No, my husband has not ever acted this way towards me before. We've argued before, but it has never led to the point where he ignores me. To all the comments asking what I mean by wanting a baby for a really long time, we've been married for 4 years, and we agreed from the start about wanting children.
Wait, how old is she?
She's 23, and her husband is 25.
So they got married at 19 and 21,
yes.
And have been trying for kids since immediately. That is really young. Did I do math right?
You did math right. I don't know if they tried from the start, but they
okay.
agreed from the start that they want kids.
Okay, that is... Well, yeah, I'd be concerned if it took them 4 years to get pregnant at such a young age.
A little young. So that's some people are like a really long time. You were married at like...
I was like, you're 23. How long have you been trying?
Yes, we've been trying to have a baby. I didn't stop taking birth control secretly, nor did we stop using protection accidentally. This was something we were both originally wanting. I didn't tell anyone before him. He was the first person to know.
Okay, that's all good things. Yeah.
I don't want to kick him out or leave him. I would really appreciate advice on how to go about talking to him if you have any advice. And finally, I don't want to get an abortion. Come on, Reddit. Don't tell a pregnant woman to get rid of the baby.
Yeah, that's a little extreme, guys.
Yeah. Top comment. Congratulations on the baby. Condolences on the husband.
But yeah, the response should be joy.
Yes.
Boy, he is not reacting right. What's going on in his head? I want to know, what is he thinking?
And finally, one more comment. My oldest daughter is 9. I still have the positive pregnancy test my wife gave me as a gift in a little box when she told me.
Gross, she peed on that.
That was my thought exactly. That's the whole reason I wanted to read this comment. I'm like, you're keeping something your wife peed on. It wasn't a B-Day gift, but I'm pretty sure she didn't tell me immediately that time. It meant a lot to me, and it still does. And then OP replied, "That's so cute. I hope y'all have an amazing life." It's cute, but I'm not saving that. You peed on it.
Oh, that's good, because I'd be like, you throw that away.
We're framing this.
I mean, take a picture of it if you want, but don't keep the pee stick. It's unsanitary.
Yeah.
All right, that wraps up another episode of Josh and Kristie Stealing the Internet. Come back next week for a new one.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Give us a follow if you like this, and we'll see you next time.